Right, so hello people, how are we all doing? Today is going to be slightly different. Mr. MICRØ won't be here today, he has other commitments. So I will be doing the solo. Look at him having a nice little sleep over there. So, it's not just going to be me though. No. See, I'm very resourceful. I found another investor. I found him off Fiverr. So for a very reasonable fee, I will go fetch him. So let's just get moving. Do you like the nice starting point here with the poncho and the deer mask? Well, we'll just let's just press O and we'll get moving. So over to here. Let's just bring this up. Got all of my details, and here's my helpful new analyst. Let's just how do I open you up? Arise! Frank! Yes! Good. Alright, Frank. Hello. Gentlemen, this is Frank. Let's just make it nice and bright. So, tinkering with my loop deck still. Hey, Frank, it's bright and early. Let's get started. Frank, follow me. Yeah, Frank. Yeah. I command thee. Frank. I can't command him. Oh no, I have to press P. Okay, I haven't... Look, this is all new to me. Frank, come on, come here. Good, wait, good, come here. I got hot dogs. Quick, follow. Yep, Frank, yep. All right, Frank, come here. All right, this will work. Okay, Frank. So, you just sit there and look good, Mr. Frank, and I shall get started. So, if I can just grab all of my notes, and... here we are. We shall get started with the zombie bearskin rug made by Vlek. Now, you might recall not too long ago. Now, let's just kind of get this at night time. Let's just kind of get this maybe at night because I want to show off what happens when it's night time. Gentlemen, after such a long time, we finally have a brand new marketable bearskin rug. And if you recall, the last one to be added was in fact another Halloween bearskin rug, the werewolf rug. Now that had glow-in-the-dark eyes, but from what we see here with the polar bear design, so the initial one that we teased about 2 weeks ago was the original brown bear one. Well, looks like Face Punch decided, do you know what? We would rather have the white one. So Vlek made two versions, polar bear and regular bear, and this is what Face Punch has decided upon right here. Now, in terms of financial potential, I have already discussed this many times ever since I first saw the original bearskin. I was like, I'm really looking forward to this, because I really do feel like plenty of people are going to be wanting to buy one. Plenty of people are going to want one in their base. One of the best comfort providers in your base. That's always necessary. Always very nice and helpful. So if we can just make it daytime. Hello, Mr. Bear. How you doing down there? Frank, what do you reckon? Do you think it looks good? Frank's got a very lovely choice of words. Yes, Frank, I agree. So let's just bring that to daytime. And let's just slowly rise up, get a nice spin around. Very nice polo. See all his flesh, see his brains. Whatever. What happened to this bear, we will never know. But it looks very cool to display it inside our bases, whether it's on the ceiling, on the floor, or on the walls. It's gonna have a wonderful home in many bases in the future. And with the sales, well, we'll discuss that in the 48-hour analysis, but loads of people have in fact bought these, and they're selling crazily. So, looking very, very good. So, now we'll move on to not the sleeping MICRØ. This ever so lovely looking furnace. So, this right here, gentlemen, is the zombie furnace made by Jessin. I was very impressed the very second I saw it, and you know what? I should turn it on. And Frank, did you leave your boat on? Frank, honestly, be professional. Right, Frank, stop it. Frank, okay, can you go there. Frank, Okay, I broke Frank. Frank, you stay there. That's good enough. And me, I'm going to go look at this furnace. Let's make it nighttime. I want to show off. So yeah, let's just kind of go dawn. And then we'll slowly seep into night. And we'll have a nice spin around on this extra gory looking, very fabulously made furnace skin. So, this, if you recall, I gave a great reference to the slime. I can't remember the proper name of it. It was the spooky slime furnace, if I recall. And that furnace right now is selling for around $14 a piece, when it originally came out for around $2. That came out in 2018, and over time, it's always had a very, very, very good demand to it. It's slowly just kept increasing in price over the years, and what we have now is basically its hideous, gruesome-looking, horrible, monstrous-looking cousin, the zombie furnace. And gentlemen, I'm just going to sit here and say, plenty of people definitely have great demand for a very standout-looking, awesome-looking furnace skin. Now, yes, we've had some very silly ones in the past. We've had some very basic-looking, interesting designs in the past. But this right here is absolutely standout, and I honestly don't think Face Punch will ever add another skin as gruesome-looking as this ever again, possibly. Like, again, we wouldn't know until next year, of course. But that right there is one of the best-looking furnaces that has ever been introduced, in my opinion. I'm a great sale, aren't I? But I know loads of people will look at that in just the same way, and I know plenty of people are probably going to be jumping in and buying as many as they can, because, as I mentioned, the best thing that I could reference this to was the slime furnace, and I'll show that off in the 48-hour analysis later on. It's pretty much got the exact same design to it, but, again, it's all gruesome and scary looking. Very perfect for Halloween. So, that is the zombie furnace, made by Jessen. And now we'll move on to... Actually, I should turn that off. Don't want to hear that in the background all the time. You enjoying yourself there, Frank? How about we make you follow me again? Come on, Frank. Yeah. It is nice, isn't it? This is enjoyable. All right, Frank, could you just stand here? Yeah, no, yeah. All right, Frank. All right, look at me. Look at me. Right, you can wear armour, right? I'm going to need someone to wear armour. Or can you hold the camera? Oh, now you don't want to talk. Right. Let's make you idle. Yes, good, Frank. No, actually, wait, Frank, come here. Frank. No, Frank. Frank, this is your fault. You said you had better credentials, damn it. Alright. This fiver purchase has proven to be quite questionable. So, here we have the Witch Altar Locker. Let's just get a good look at that. So we've got this during the day. And let's make it dawn, dusk. And yes, gentlemen, it glows in the dark. So, let's give it time to adjust. And now I'll go to night time. So I'm just going to slowly zoom in. This right here is made by Odyssey. And earlier this year, I did discuss, right, we saw the appearance of the Outer Planets Locker. And we have discussed over the over the past 2 years, we had not seen a locker skin appear in a Rust store. They were appearing on workshops, but they just weren't being accepted. Well, Kavenzi ended up getting his Outer Planets locker being added, and it sold insanely. So, after such a long time not seeing a brand new skin come out, everybody went crazy trying to get one that was actually affordable. Because with the sheer lack of new skins coming out, led to everybody buying out all of the other skins. And they ended up, at minimum, costing around $5 each. But then, of course, Outer Planets appeared. And during the 7 days it was available, it sold over 33,000 sales. So, one of the things I was discussing when I first looked at that Outer Planets locker was, what's the likelihood we will see another one appearing potentially this year? And I said, you know what? due to how hard it is to texture all of this, because the faces flip on each side when you make the textures for this. So if you were to go inside of this locker, you'll see that the textures actually appear on both sides. But with what I see here, made by Mr. Odyssey, he's done a fantastic job being able to bring out the very best of Halloween. The glow-in-the-dark, it actually, all of this genuinely looks like something you potentially see in like a spooky scene. It very likely some witches sort of storage. You've got the cobwebs and whatnot, the glow-in-the-dark. It all fits. It all looks very, very nice. And I really wouldn't be surprised if this sells insanely as well, much like with the zombie furnace. This is an in-demand skin for an item that does get used a lot, and we do not have a lot of skins for this very item. And I really would not be surprised if tons and tons and tons of them are bought. But there also leads to the potential problem in which, when far too many are being bought, we might potentially see oversaturation happening. And yes, we do have to be aware of that. We do have to be prepared for that. But thank God this is abnormal. This is abnormal. The zombie furnace is abnormal. That bear skin, that polar bear, the zombie bearskin rug isn't abnormal. But we'll discuss like finances in regards to strategy for the 48-hour analysis. What I'm sitting here saying is, whilst it looks very, very cool, all of these Halloween skins that we sit here and see, they're not going to always be in demand. Why? Because for the very gimmicky skins that are mostly appropriate for Halloween, the issue is it's not always Halloween, is it? No. Because every other part of the year, it's not October, is it? So you're probably not going to want to use a Halloween skin when it's January, when it's April, when it's August. But when we reach next year, when we start anticipating October, and when we get close to Halloween all over again, this very likely will rise up in price. But if we don't see any more locker skins for a long time again, this will still get bought, this will still get used, and this very likely still will become a very nice positive investment. Sound good? Right. Now let's move on to the last deployable to discuss about. And this also is a talking point following what I just said. So let's just quickly point out, this is the pumpkin storage box made by Sunart. I believe this is his first skin accepted. So congratulations to you, buddy. Got a nice persistent glow in the dark. Let's just spin it around. Let's just go down, have a look on the sides. It's quite literally a possessed pumpkin. Cool looking small storage. So these skins were the ones that were voted on and successfully were picked out by the Face Punch staff, I'm led to believe. So we initially had 199 skins that came out in TDG's list. And then after the first phase of voting, it got reduced to 45. And now these 11 skins that we sit here and see today, these are all the winners. And if we saw, in comparison to last year's skins, with this year's skins, and what was submitted to be part of the competition, last year had just over 100 submissions, this year had 199. It got more popular, we had a whole lot more people getting involved, and we saw many instances of very awesome looking creative ideas. But this right here, whilst looking very cool and glow in the dark, and small boxes have been buffed fairly recently with their increased capacity, here is the problem. It's too gimmicky for Halloween. It's a bit of a problem, isn't it? What I'm sitting here saying is, people are most likely not going to want to have a pumpkin box throughout all of the year. You never know, we might see another very interesting looking glow in the dark small box storage coming out over the course of the next few weeks. Maybe you'll see a Christmas one. But the point I'm trying to sit here and say is the demand for a very Halloween gimmicky skin probably isn't going to last. And the value of it very easily could go down in price. So let's just make it nice and bright during the day. Frank, do you have opinion down over there, Frank? Frank, come here. Hello. Oi. follow. Look, hot dogs. Hot dogs. Look, they're in the box. Fetch. Get it. No, Frank, get off. No, back. Damn it, Frank, you're too eager. Right, sit. Give me your opinions. Give me your opinions, Franks. What? What's that? Frank says he likes it, but he might just stick with a Biodranet because this right here is abnormal. And in terms of being smart with putting our money down for these skins, doing the Biodra might be the smarter thing to do. We will have to discuss that a fair bit later. But it's a very cool design. I do like it a lot, and I'm not surprised that this was one of the ones that was picked. If we're looking for skins that do represent Halloween quite nicely, a very scary looking spooky pumpkin storage fits. So, all good. Frank, come here. Oh, your legs, mate. Right, so that is the 4 deployables, that being the zombie bearskin rug, the zombie furnace, the witch altar locker, and the pumpkin storage box. So what do we have next to show off? Frank, can you strike a pose? Frank, sit, pose. That way. How do I control... Move my target location. No, Frank. Go there. Frank. There. Fine, I'll do it. Unbelievable. Frank, you disappoint me so much. You were not worth the $5. So, shall we get started in showing off the clothing and armour? So, shall we begin with Kua's Cultist Deer Skull Mask. So, let's just get nice in position. How about we make it nighttime? Maybe a little bit in the dawn? Yeah, let's just get like that. That looks pretty nice. So, Cultist Deer Skull. Mr. Kua, hello. I can see you in the chat right there. Congratulations on getting your skin accepted. And this is quite special. What's so special about it? Well, this is the first marketable deer skull to be accepted after about 3 years, almost 3 years. The last one accepted was the reindeer one that came out in Christmas 2019. Mr. Kua, you just so happened to get this out in time, ready for that, what was it, the trailer. It was involved, wasn't it? It was cool. That was really awesome that Face Punch did that, because this was actually used in the trailer. And I don't blame them. You did a very good job of this, buddy. Now, we do have to discuss the potential investments, like, do people actually use deer skull masks that much? Well, if I were to remember the wise words of Mr. MICRØ, sometimes you just got to use what's available to you. And, well, if you're going to be hunting animals to get some animal fat and whatnot, maybe you hunt a deer, you get a deer skull. Guess I'll just make a mask. And you know what? People will feel more incentivized to make deer skull masks if they have some very cool looking skins. And what do we have right here? I do believe that is a very cool looking skin. You did a very good job, Kua, and I'm very happy to see that it's very successful. But there is a problem. What happens when an item that hasn't had a skin for a very long time suddenly gets one? And referring back to the Outer Planets locker, that sold insanely. Sold over 33,000, and way back then, I was worried that was going to be oversaturated. And technically speaking, it was. You got to think, actual demand for all the people that actually want to use it in-game versus how many that were bought. That's what you got to consider. And with this, after the first day, it sold over 20,000. Now, the second highest selling one is the Christmas Reindeer Deer Skull Mask. This right here has got a whole bunch of demand, but in terms of being a good investment, it's really getting me worried. And, gentlemen, you do really have to consider, is this something that people are going to be using very, very frequently? My answer to that is, I really don't think so. It's a great design, it's an awesome skin, but Kua, I'm sure you can understand that it's probably not going to be the best of investments. But I'm still very happy to see that you succeeded. And the other point that I wanted to point out and sit here and say is, how coincidental that this was made just as that torch skin was made. And we will discuss those new holiday themed, Halloween themed items / skins after we've shown off the actual skins. So very cool looking mask. Congratulations once again to Mr. Kua. And let's go take a look over to here. Mr. Corium did also just quickly point out the bandana and the boonie is a better combination, which again, it's mostly down to what you have available to you, Mr. Corium. But cloth is a whole lot easier to probably get a hold of compared to the deer skull. But let's just stick with this. Hey, instead of cloth, why not cobwebs? So let's just get a quick look at you at night time. Sorry, I'm still getting used to this loop deck. Around and round and round and round and round. So, yes, very cool looking design, and I'm not surprised loads of people have now decided to start making poncho skins, because Face Punch has been extra lenient and been adding tons of them. We've recently had the Arctic Camo Poncho, the Blackout Poncho, we recently just had the Chainmail Poncho, and now we've got a Cobweb Poncho. And the very silly thing is, we actually had 3 submissions of a cobweb design for a poncho. But it looks like Mr. LeCramp was the successor, or the one who succeeded. Now, yeah, can't really get a good look on the back because I'm holding a rocket launcher. But I'm sure you can sit there and understand that there is some very scary looking spiders. Oh dear, oh dear. I hope you don't have arachnophobia. But here's the problem. We've had far too many poncho skins coming out in the past 6 weeks. 4 out of 4 in the past 6 weeks. Ever since September 8th onwards. Yeah, far too many. And this is a problem because people who desperately wanted to have a poncho skin most likely already have the poncho skin that they want. And yes, of course, now we've got a very gimmicky Halloweeny one. Oh wow, surely people are going to want to use this all the time, or will they? And do you understand the potential problems that we might see in terms of an investment? So we do have to really take a good look at the amount that have sold over the past week, compare it to the recent ones that we've seen appearing, and then we'll make a decision whether or not we should buy into them. So ponchos, we've been seeing a lot of them. They are great for certain environments, well, specifically the snowy biomes, the colder areas. And if you kill an animal and you've got enough hide, it doesn't hurt to make one real quickly. If you just need something quickly to put on to run outside, you've got to quickly attack someone, you've got to defend something, quickly whack it on, do what you can. And during the progression of your base, during the progression of your playthrough and every wipe day and whatnot, at some point you very likely will be wearing a poncho. So why not look stylish? Why not cover yourselves in spiders? Right, so Frank, did you like that? Thank you, Frank, much appreciated. Right, let's go put on the other pieces of clothing. So what do we have over here? We have some tier 3 armor. So this right here is the Kraken shell face mask and chest plate made by Siddy. So let's just get a nice zoom in on this. Very interesting design in regards to everybody mostly attempted to make, whether it was a zombie, a scary monster, something to do with witches, pumpkins, you name it. But Siddy actually went and did, like, ocean horror, thalassophobia, that's it. And I am going to have to give him some sort of like bonus points in the idea and the creativity of it. Yes, to a lot of you probably won't appreciate it, but he actually brought something different to the table, and I'm not surprised his thing got accepted. He thought outside of the box. Whilst we saw spiders, whilst we've seen literal pumpkin armour and whatnot, he decided to make something, make a representative of a different type of fear that many people have, and that is the fear of what lurks in the ocean. And we can see all the barnacles. We can see that this is like a decayed dead pirate, probably at the bottom of the ocean. We can see all of the horrible algae build up, barnacles all on the side. An octopus lives within his chest cavity. Oh, gruesome. And as you can see, he's also in his skull. It's all horrible. It's all skeleton. You can see his bandana. So yeah, I like the idea of it, and I'm happy to see it being accepted. But again, here's the problem. How likely is it people are going to want to use this throughout all of the year? Whether it's January, March, June, August, December, you know. Is this only ever going to be wanted during October's? Or is it just going to go down in price? And I have shown this off in the past, especially of last year's clothing and armour. That is still below its restore price. And it's Halloween time. So even when it's the next year for Halloween, last year's clothing and armour still below its restore price. So this is something you have to be prepared for, something you have to be aware of. So cool design. How about we get that during the day? And yeah, literally during the day and back to night time. So, no wonder he's decaying. I'm skipping through time so quickly. And now, the last piece of clothing that I want to quickly show off to you is something I was not 100% sure would be allowed. And that is the zombie cap. Look at you. So, if you aren't aware, this looks like a zombie from Plants vs. Zombies. I'm sure EA Games is going to be alright with that. They're not going to be mad. No. So yes, this is the zombie cap made by UAD6. Cool looking design. If we can just zoom in a bit, you can see all like the grooves on the material for the actual cap. And of course, you can see the light glisten on the brains on top of the zombie. Yeah, looking good. It's a fairly simple design, and you know what? Simplicity sometimes works for the best. We've seen some very intricate looking designs with the deployables and whatnot. We saw a very awesome looking tier 3 armour, but you know what? We've got a very goofy looking cute sort of zombie cap. And caps, that's something to discuss. Because, let's just quickly get this to night time. Can we make it night time? So that's during dusk. And this is now night time. So cool. Well, let's just get a quick spin around on you. Get a good look around all around. Caps. We don't see many cap skins, do we? Oh, look, you can see all the bolting on the back. Ah, his flesh is quite literally being stapled together. Frank, I think we need to find out who did this so we can do a better job with you. So, yeah. It's a fairly simple design, but it worked out well and it was successful. But yes, cap skins. We don't see many of them, and it also comes down to the fact, how often are you going to actually be using a cap? Now, if you're going to find oh, sorry, I've gone the wrong way. If you find yourself probably naked and you've respawned, you run onto a road, you happen to find a cap in a storage or a box, then you're going to just probably want to wear it real quickly. Maybe you happen to find a repair bench and you feel, you know what, I could make a nice little zombie cap in my head. I don't think this is going to be super in demand. I honestly think, yep, perfect response. It's a role player's hat. So maybe there's going to be some silly things people might do in role play servers where you just put on that cap and people are going to be the zombies. Maybe that's it. Maybe some people genuinely think this is a cute little idea and it'll sell well. But the last cap skin we saw was the Gambler's cap, and that's still below its restore price. And that sold like 20,000 because... But even back then, last year, people thought, oh, wow, we haven't seen many cap skins in such a long time. Surely this would be a great investment. And it wasn't. So yeah, caps don't actually get used that much, but for role players, I think they might have found something that they might like. But yeah, not everybody is a role player. So cute design. I think it's a very fun thing to add, Mr. UAD6. So good job there. Congratulations on getting that accepted. So that is the clothing and the armour finished for this week. Now, let me reiterate, skins. I will talk about the items afterwards. So now, let's discuss the weapons. We have right here the Ancient Curse Rocket Launcher made by MICRØ. Let's just get a nice aim down on that. Let's just make it during the day, a little bit more during the day. What about if we make it night time? Right, because this actually glows in the dark. Not the aim sights. Yeah, right, so... I feel quite wet. So it does glow, and if I were to go into pitch black darkness... Let's just quickly run over there. Hey, Frank. Let's just go over to here. Yeah. Yeah. That's visually helpful. So if we could try and make it darker... I don't think... If I go around the other way, is it going to be darker that way? Yeah, that's visually helpful. You can see that little speck of glow just to the right of the aim sight. You could coordinate yourself well with that. Now, if I were to get a quick look at me right here, look at that. That looks really cool. MICRØ, you've done a pretty good job here. Is there any actual text there for the gravestone? No. I thought that, well, you got a rip right there, but hey, cool design. We don't get many rocket launcher skins anymore, do we? The most recent one, oh, don't look down the hole. Ah, flashbang. The most recent one was the antique rocket launcher that came out a good few weeks ago. And I did point out that before that, it had been about 10 months since the last rocket launcher skin that was accepted, which was the one that came out in November 2021. So the antique one appeared earlier this year, and I said, you know what? That's looking to be a pretty good investment. And guess what happened? It wasn't a good investment because people didn't actually care enough for it. And right here, I'm looking at a glow-in-the-dark one. Now, what I should also point out is we did just recently see Rocker 44444s. I've said too many fours there. We recently had the Twitch drop with the actual glow-in-the-dark aim sight for a rocket launcher, which was handy. We did discuss that with Mr. MICRØ. But could it be a point where people are going to notice, hang on a minute, I know what that glow is. That's someone running around with a rocket launcher. Rocket launchers being very valuable. Maybe you want to see where they're going. Maybe you might want to see what they're up to, because maybe some people are trying to run towards a raid. If you can just slowly sneak up at them, and just as they're about to start doing their raid, you quickly kill him, take the rocket launcher and run off. You know, that can easily give you away. So let's make it daytime again. And yeah, maybe I shouldn't stand in a spot with the shade. So again, stand it to the side. Whoa! Hello, myself. How are you doing? So, very cool looking mummy wrap style of skin. Is that cobwebs as well? Yes! As I said, we've seen a lot of like very similar ideas being put towards the workshop these past two or so weeks. And there was 199 skins to pick from. And it got all the way down to 11 that were picked out today. And from what I see here, this is a nice design. It's cool. It was the only rocket launcher skin that was submitted. You did a very good job here, MICRØ. Now, in terms of this being an investment, well, it is abnormal. We don't need to rush into buying it. We can consider just doing a buy order first. Then we'll consider whether or not we should actually go ahead and purchase some. But we've only had 2 rocket launcher skins so far this year. And yes, we've had some very interesting submissions. We've had the banana, we've had the tempered, we've had the cigar rocket launcher skins being submitted. We showed them off a good few months ago, but they weren't accepted. So this and the likes of the antique rocket launcher might be comfortably rising up in price as we get closer to post-Christmas, late December time. With a lack of options, people do buy out what already exists. But it does matter how many of these have sold over the past week. So, boom! There we go. And let's just reload you real quickly. Load it up. All good, all good. Right, so we know that this is very gimmicky for Halloween. Not like full of pumpkins and whatnot, but it's also glow-in-the-dark. And people do have quite the stigma against glow-in-the-dark weapons. They do not want to be seen at night time. And yeah, that's fairly easy to spot what that is. And it doesn't take a while for people to notice, oh, hang on a minute, he's got that Halloween rocket launcher. I should follow him, or I should kill him. You know, you get the idea. So, it does kind of make you a bit of an easy target. So, it's questionable. It is questionable. But we'll have to keep an eye on whether it's looking like it's a problem there. Yeah. Oh well, I like the design. I think it looks pretty good. So, moving on to a very interesting looking SAR skin. So, SARs do get used a lot at the moment, I guess you could say, during what lots of people would call the current meta. They are not hard to get a hold of, so let's just get nice in position first of all. How about we start off at night time? So, Slime Monster, this is actually a continuation. So, last year we saw the Slime Monster Thompson. Very, very nice skin. So, let's just get a good look at you. It's as if you're holding an evil monster and he's shooting bullets at all of your enemies. All of these eyes, all of this goop, all spread around. Little Ranger, the creator of this set, he's done a very good job here. I do like what I see. And there is a bit of a discussion to talk about in regards to SAR skin designs, because we've seen some pretty interesting ones recently with the likes of the Nightwatch and the Blackout, and ideally they're probably the very best thing that you could want. Blackout SAR, for example, part of the Blackout collection, that very likely will be holding up its price. That very likely will be doing very well, purely because it's part of a well-known collection. It has a very helpful aim sight. It's all black and just red on the tip, so perfect. We're not going to see another glow-in-the-dark aim sight SAR skin anytime soon, so that's as good as it's going to get. But with this is just a very interesting looking design, and I could see this being used quite a lot in the future. Yes, it's very goofy looking in a way. It's a bit daft, but wouldn't you like to run around with your own little monster? So let's just get that sort of like during the day and a little bit more. Very cool. Chat, what's your opinion? Also, thank you for the Prime sub there, Flair Frida. Much appreciated. What do you reckon? Do you like what you see? Would you like to run around? The Thompson version didn't do amazing, to be honest, but it's still comfortably up in price. The Thompson sold for $1.99, if I recall, and right now it's sitting above $3. Or it was before. I gave one away recently for my Halloween giveaway. I like the design of it, and I wouldn't be surprised if we see another one next year. So, let's just quickly look in the dark. So, dark. Oh, look at that. He's staring at you. He knows what you did. So, yeah. Nothing helpful there. Let's make it daytime. And it's colourless texture. You know what? You could have at least put like a little green blob or an eyeball for the aim sight tip or something. But just to point out, no helpful aim sight. So, yep. Look at those bullets fly. Cool stuff. Good job there, Mr. Little Ranger. I wonder what he'll do next year. Frank, what do you reckon? Frank, they wouldn't skin that. Oh, you disgust me. Right, so, gentlemen, what do you reckon? Did you think I did a pretty decent job solo? Well, I mean, Frank was there, but I don't think I'll be using Fiverr again. So, that was all the skins of the week, but now I'm here and I'm going to be discussing the Halloween items, because this year we saw 3 new Halloween items. And let's get that underway. So, let's just hide this away and bring all of this out, because we've got quite a lot to discuss here. So how about we hold this, I'll pose over here, and we'll start talking about the... Oh, sorry about that. It's odd doing this, being the model, and also... So if I just do... There we go. Oh, the eye wasn't on. Oh, I'm an idiot. So, let's start off with the baseball bat. So, this is a skin of the mace. and they have actually buffed the mace a fair bit. But who roams around with a mace? You might find one when you're travelling along the road, you're scavenging through boxes. You find one and you just want to use it to quickly whack barrels with and whatnot. If you live near the roads and you regularly go on barrel bashing, maybe you just, out of novelty, want to use this baseball bat design. So you quickly take your mace, you quickly skin it into a baseball bat, and just run around with it and you have fun. But the thing is, maces just don't get used that much, do they? In fact, all melee probably don't really get used that much. This isn't the right type of game for it, is it? Negan does. Oh, cool stuff. So, this is a discussion where we have to sit here and say, in terms of investment, what might you do? Is there a bear? Mr. Bear? What are you doing? Go away. Frank, kill. Frank. Let's get him. Here, kill. Frank. Come on, let's attack. Let's do it. Yeah, come here. Come on, Frank. This is the best Pokemon fight I've ever seen. Come on, do it, Frank. Do it. Yeah, get him, Frank. Get him. He's not coming back, is he? Oh, he is. Okay, at least he's loyal. Good job, Frank. Now, anyway, where were we? I'm sorry. I just couldn't pass up that opportunity. So, baseball bat. I am honestly not thinking it's going to be doing very well. This is going to be available in the Rust store for 2 weeks. This is most likely not going to be super in demand as time goes on. A lot of people might think, oh, not that many were bought. Oh no, I should buy them all out. Because there's a very good chance we're not going to see the baseball bat until next year. And a lot of people might incorrectly assume it won't be reintroduced. There's a very good chance this will be reintroduced. Like last year we saw the introduction of the Skull Rock and the Carvable Pumpkin. This year we saw them being reintroduced. In fact, the only thing I think that wasn't reintroduced that appeared last year was the Skull Fire Pit. So, if you're going to sit there and say, oh, surely this won't be brought back, I'm going to sit here and say, I think they're going to try and bring back everything if they can. So, with the potential that quite a lot of these will be bought, and, demand versus quantity, I'm not going to be surprised if it goes below its Rust store price and it suffers. It's a very cool looking design, and I definitely approve of Face Punch potentially making more things like this. Now, will we ever see skin creators being able to make their own mace skins? We shall see. But if Face Punch decided, you know what, for a certain batch of weapons and clothing and armor pieces, much like the hazmat suit, maybe only Face Punch gets to make skins for them. And that's fine. If that's one way they want to monetize things, I'm all for it. That's totally fine. It's purely cosmetic. It's a crazy looking design. I'm okay with that. And recently we saw the likes of the Lumberjack pack. Purely cosmetic, very cool looking, but it's up to you whether you really want it or not. You've also got the Arctic pack, which was technically pay to win for Arctic and snowy areas, but I think they learned from that, and they don't want to do that ever again because a lot of people got upset. So, right. Shall we quickly bring up the torch? So, this is very cool looking. Again, I made the joke of Kua. How lucky were you that they had made this and you also made your deer skull skin? So, very cool looking, but there's a problem. You turn it on and now you can't see it anymore. Huh. Well, that's not as good, is it? So, we notice a bit of a problem. Frank, you stay there. Yeah, good boy. Alright. So, let's just strike a pose. Let's make it nighttime. Right. Alright. Let's just get a good look at the Cultist deer torch. Let's get up nice and close. Looking very interesting in its design. Now, Kua, if they had blood in this, I'd have to question whether you actually work for Face Punch. So this is our first ever torch skin. And again, will we ever see the potential of community-made torch skins, much like potentially seeing it with maces. I wonder how far you can really go with this. And again, the main issue is when you turn it on and are actually using it, you don't actually see it, do you? Other people might notice it. Other people might see that you're running around with it. But is it even noticeable? Chat, is it even worth the $3.99 to hold that around and never actually get to be able to see what it looks like when you're holding it and actually functionally using it? It's up to you, but I am questioning that, and I'm probably not thinking it's going to hold a decent value. Now, maybe it will. Do you remember when Spacesuit came out for the hazmat? Actually, first of all, so from a distance, you do notice, yeah, it's cool, but is it $3.99 cool? Yeah, I'm probably not gonna be wanting this one. But hey, Face Punch had an idea. They rolled with it. And we never know, we might see some more interesting ideas in the future. Maybe instead of a torch, they have like a flame-lit lantern or something. That'd be cool, that'd be interesting. They have ideas, they tested it out. But I'm not sure if people are going to want to invest into it. I'm not sure they're going to constantly want to use it all year. Now, there is the benefit of this is the only torch skin that we have. So let's just make it daytime. This is the only torch skin that currently exists. There's no other thing. But if, as I was saying with the spacesuit, the hazmat suit, the very first hazmat suit that we ever got, that sold for a very decent price. It sold for around $20 for a very long time. But what happened when we started to see hazmat suits appearing in the general store? Permanent hazmat suits. The spacesuit became cheaper and cheaper. Now, the spacesuit definitely has the benefit of it's the only marketable one. Okay, that's good. But it definitely lost a lot of its thunder, the specialty behind it. It used to be the only one, but then there was more. Do you reckon this will hold its value if we end up seeing more appearing in the future? I hoped that wasn't going to appear during this. It spooked me. Frank, go fetch. Go. Stop laughing at me. Alright, so, yeah, that happened. Let's just hide that, because it's not of my concern. It had to happen. So, yeah, I'm worried about it. I don't think it's going to be holding up. I don't think people are going to be buying these out the very second it's not in the Rust store. If anything, over the course of these next few weeks, with the CSGO Major literally starting in about 10 days' time, this is very likely going to suffer, along with all of the other Halloween-themed items, because when it's not Halloween, they lose their value. And they only start gaining value the very second it starts getting fairly close to Halloween again. Do you recall with the carvable pumpkin when I talked about it again? Earlier this year, back in early June, that carvable pumpkin, which originally sold for $6.99, was sitting there selling for $1 on the Steam market. This right here, a $3.99 torch, whilst it is a Halloween item, it's the only torch skin. I don't know, buddy. I don't know. But we shall see. Anyway. I'll hide that, and let's get a good look at the main thing that is of my consent. Frank, do you hear that? Frank, I want you to get him. Frank, help me! Quick, quick, quick! I got a butt. You hit high, I hit low. Yes. Get him, Frank! Get him! Right, good. Right, I couldn't pass up the opportunity. Right, so let's just hide that and stick to the point. Sorry, I'm sorry. I need to get rid of the bear. Frank, don't get close to me. Please, Frank, do not get up right close to me. Frank. Frank. What? I won't be using Fiverr again. So... This right here is an $8 skin, the hockey mask. It is actually a skin. even though it's an item, even though all the 3 new items that we've seen today, the torch, the baseball bat, and this, they are items, but they're all technically skins. Gentlemen, do you honestly think this will be maintaining its $8 status? Do you honestly think it will remain being an $8 face mask? Now, this actually isn't the very first... Oh god, what is it dropping? Oh, I'm sorry about this. Are you going to invest in it? Right, so, no more distractions, no more scary music, no more random things happening. Let's just jump straight into it. As I was talking about the carvable pumpkin, at one point earlier this year, at the beginning of June, it was selling for $1. And that was a special Halloween item that was introduced at $6.99. It went from $7 to $1. It did not have any demand the very second it wasn't Halloween. Now, I was trying to make a point that this isn't technically the first hockey mask skin that we've had, and it's honestly not that visually appealing, is it? I mean, I could probably look at Frank and say he probably has a better looking face than this. But do you honestly think this is going to hold its $8 status? It's going to be in the Rust store for 2 weeks, so when the Rust store rotates next week, this will remain with all the other Halloween items, and only the skins will rotate. Yes, this is a skin, but it's also an item, so this will be sticking around. And let's get it at night time. So, yeah, it's just not really got the appeal in my eyes. And do you know what I would probably do? A $2 buy order. I honestly don't expect it to have that much demand to keep up the $8 price. But I do know, in anticipation for next year, this very likely will be reintroduced, maybe for a cheaper price of like $5.99, which the carvable pumpkin is this year. It went down by $1. Maybe we could see the exact same thing happening with this face mask. But in terms of this being an investment, I'm just going to sit there and say, I don't think so. And I'm happy to see Face Punch making more skins as items for all the holiday events and whatnot. I'm curious to see what's going to be appearing for Christmas time, but I don't expect that to hold its value, and I personally won't be buying any. I will stick with buy orders. I will put down what I think is a decent price, and as time goes on, hopefully, fingers crossed, I will make a great profit from it when it gets reintroduced next year. Not sure how many I'm going to buy, but that's for us to discuss when we do the 48-hour analysis and when we actually do the buy orders next week. But I like what it is. It's cool. It was a nice, interesting idea to introduce for this Halloween. Let's see what they do next year as well. So this might be something we start seeing for every holiday event. And with that, chat, any questions? What do you think? What's your opinion on that? Do you honestly think... So you just see someone here walking along and they happen to be wearing that. Do you honestly think that's worth the $8? Do you honestly think that's money well spent? The grey colouring killed it, in my opinion. You know what, Crypto? That's not a bad thing to say. If it was bright white, yeah, if it had blood all over it, yeah, not like blood literally all over it, but if it had like blood marks, that would have been pretty good. More used throughout the year than the pumpkin. Nice green colour for the tryhards and collectible value to the horror fans. Metal face mask not always attained by the regular Rust players. Okay. We need a boiler suit for it. Oh, mate! Oh, that's it! You've got it, Corium. It just needed a boiler suit. Face Punch, I've given you an idea, maybe for next week or next year. This needs a proper collection. This needs a boiler suit, hoodie and pants to go with it. Yes, I can envision that. Don't know why I'm looking at my body. Yes, perfect. That's actually a great idea. So, if we're going to build up on the horror tropes, we should probably have maybe a Freddy claws weapon or something. So that would be interesting. So, you could get a glory mask for $5, not spending $8 on this, to be honest. That's a good point, Mr. Cheese. Yes, so plenty of other things people would prefer to get based on the price that this currently is. So I would not be surprised if the value of this item does go down, the hockey mask. So it was an interesting idea. It just kind of fell flat. The interest just doesn't really seem to be there for us investors and the actual people that play Rust 24/7 and whatnot. So yeah, oh well. So Frank, let's go to daytime. Frank, I'd just like to say thank you very much today, Frank. You did a very good job keeping an eye out for all those bears. I mean, well, you tried your best at the very least. And whilst you weren't the most talkative and whatnot, I'll let you be free. Goodbye, Frank. Goodbye. And gentlemen, thank you all for watching today. I'm sure we can get all the right pieces to bring Mr. MICRØ back. He just needs to rest for now. And, well, next week, I wonder what's going to be appearing. So if we could just quickly tab out, go over to here. Yes, it's all the skins from this current week, but we'll discuss about that later. So, these are all the skins so far that have been voted in and accepted. This was for the contest. Now, it's back to here. No, not to here specifically. We're going back to all 199 of the skins. The Face Punch devs are now going to go back through all of these and they're going to pick out ones they liked that are here. So 196 skins. It used to be 199. I'm not sure what happened, but they're going to go back all through here again, and they're going to pick out what they like. And next week is going to be pretty random. We could potentially have anticipated what was going to be appearing for this lot because we saw round 1 literally just earlier this week. The round 1. Oh, look, and Snake Eyes congratulated everyone. That's very nice of you, Snake Eyes. Round 1 was literally just a few days ago. We did a video about that. 45 skins here. And we were looking through and we're thinking, what might get picked? And of course we've seen what has been accepted. But for next week, 196 skins. Well, technically 180 odd. Who do you reckon's getting in? Remember, vote for the ones that you like. Show your support. Show Face Punch you want to see these skins being accepted. I thank you all for watching today. I hope you have a lovely weekend. I hope you're enjoying the Halloween update. And let's see what happens for next week.